Hello and welcome back to Championship Sunday. We have, don't be deceived, this is not Rio on my side. This is
I'm
the
still
one
Rio.
and only Ardy. You're still Rio? Oh, okay.
I'm
Sorry.
still Rio, actually. So what happens is that I undergo this sort of metamorphosis phase, right? Nah, but anyway,
Oh,
what's up,
no, you
everybody? There we
changed.
go. Artie, and then yeah, hashtag ref exclamation point. That's me. What's up, everybody? Happy to be back here on the Breakout Esports Masters Series for Split 2 Grand Finals. I've been away for quite a while, but hey, it is time to jump back into the finals. And hey, I'm saying jump back into. These players have never left. Jerry, give me a
I haven't
rundown
left.
of what we have seen throughout all of today, all of this last week. How have these players been shaken up to get here to the grand finals?
Oh, they've been shaken up well. They've been shaken up real well. We had a whole Swiss bracket starting yesterday, and we wrapped it up today with some crazy cash-out games, and then we moved straight on over to our playoffs, our double elimination bracket right here, right now. We had the first two games of that, and we've already seen 2-2-3, previously known as No Name, a telco squad, book their spots in the championships, in the World Championships. But there is still one more slot to sort out, and that will go to one of these two teams, either Pushing 30 or Holtows Finest. It's anyone's game, Ardy, and you've missed some really, really cool games. I'm sure you were watching, but I really don't know how this is going to shake down.
Yeah, there's a good chance that every single player that has had a good plan going into today of like, hey, we're gonna keep this one strategy going the whole way through, not gonna be able to shake up going into these last ones. Because these last two, the lower finals, the grand finals, is where it all culminates. These players aren't just jumping in the game and playing. They are actually thinking. They are actually trying to figure out, hey, this team, tends to act one way, tends to act a different way. And, it's going to all come down to this. We're, of course, staying on the classic maps, plus this Horizon from Season 2. Nobody likes that open world series of Japan, so we're staying in with Seoul, starting off on Pushing 30's pick. Love to see that. Jumping into Las Vegas and Monaco. Sis Horizon, Skyway as the decider. It feels like an arty welcome back to give me the best of 5 series that I'm here for.
Oh yeah, absolutely. You saved all your juice and your energy for this this final run through. Me and me and Rio had some interesting games. The first of the playoffs, we had a game where it seemed as though No Idea were kind of done for the day, and they were playing triple medium with riot shields and turrets, and at one point as well triple daggers and lights. And then we got into the serious stuff. So it's been a wild ride from start to finish. We're not actually at the finish yet either. So yeah, 5 maps. We may not see all of them, of course. This is the best of 3. So do you reckon this is going to go all the way?
I mean, hey, knowing from, Pushing 30, Belize, Sloth, Gremliners, like, those guys are not here to play around. They are here to do their best. They will mess around in the very beginning, but if it looks like that could hold them back, then they are going to stop that immediately and be like, hey, lock in, right? That's that kind of crowd. Holtows Finest, though, Lamp, I know that he does not mess around. He is the kind to just jump on and play shoot game. However, I know that when it comes down to brass tacks, he knows what Pushing 30 is capable of. And so Lamp Squad is going to be able to figure out early on what strategy is going to need to remain in place throughout the map. And so I think that if we want to look for who's going to be setting the pace early on, we'll look for Holtows Finest. If we want to see what the vibes are, we'll look at Pushing 30.
Yeah, the vibes. I'm glad you brought that up because the vibes are really different between these two sides. You listen to any Lamp streams, they are cool, calm, collected, they're laughing, they're having fun, but these is locked in. They are making sure that everyone is doing their darndest. Sometimes it gets a bit emotional in there as well. They have had their communication issues today for certain, so they have to turn that around on this match right now to start off this best of 5 for that spot in Championship Sunday. We're already into Monaco right now and carrying a glitch barrel right here. This is Pushing 30 side in blue, Holtows Finest running towards A, it would seem, in pink.
Yeah, let's see this. So looks like the vault is going to be a very nice early contest with Pushing 30 having early control here. Now, Pushing 30 does send the heavy with the shield all the way up to the top. They are going to get jumped on. unfortunately not able to break that zipline. Lamp gonna have to deal with the rest of the squad jumping in through, but Lamp gets an early pick on the Sloth, gets a second pick on the Gremlin. This is a very early start here for Holtows Finest. Pushing 30 loses grip just a little bit.
Some great shots there from Lamp we saw with the SA-1216. Belize loves this gun as well. It seems every heavy does nowadays, but this is going to be a real kind of I was gonna say something a bit vulgar. They're gonna be waving their somethings around just to, you know, see who's the best heavy. You know?
Yeah, who's the best heavy? We don't know. We'll find out. I know the Gremlin.
They're gonna let it hang. That's what I'm going for. You know.
Absolutely. I love seeing though, like Gremlin is back onto the medium, kind of where he belongs. When it first started, I remember that Gremlin was the go-to heavy back a few months ago, right? This is 3 or 4 months ago. And you know, to see him dive back onto the medium shows me he does care, not just about, hey, pushing what's right, but what the team needs. Seeing Belize though on heavy, I love to see that because Belize has been heavy since the very beginning.
Yeah, it's difficult to get him off his favoured contestant in these situations. He wants to be that heavy. He wants to be up and in your face as well. He plays a very aggressive heavy, as we saw in last game. It does mean that his team have to be right on top of him, really coordinated, because sometimes it goes brilliantly and sometimes it can go south. But right now we're seeing a bit of stall here, a bit of delay, as Holtows Finest very happy to wait on top of this church and let the fight come to them. Down goes the roof though, and that's going to bring the fight right down onto the cash out as we see lots of pink health drop to nearly 0, but Pushing 30 are fighting back. Belize though left with only a smidgen of HP. He can't fight Holtows Finest on their ground.
It was so possible for just a moment, but unfortunately, as that drop came through, the crosshair was lost. And, well, Pushing 30 just was not pushing enough bullets. So, it was very, very close to Belize being able to clutch that up. But when it comes down to the res fights, there's only so much you can do. I don't think that Pushing 30 has another chance at this. It does look like there's a slim chance, but only 10, 15 seconds remaining. Yeah, there's no way that they're actually going to be able to get in time to finish this team fight. And Holtows Finest knows that. The steal is going to start, but wait a second. Are they in place? Yeah, they are. They are in place. There's one. Yeah, like I said, they have to take that team fight. There's no time for the team fight. I did think that for a second, maybe they would have actually gotten that steal through. I think even maybe, you know, Pushing 30 believed it for a moment too.
It was possible. That was the only thing they could have done though, right? Send the heavy in, hope that he survives. By some miracle, you get a couple of kills here and there with your mediums, and that the heavy can just sort of stick it out through just sheer willpower. With that timer, that's the only play, really. Unfortunately, it doesn't pay off. I'm Pushing 30 now behind here to Holtows Finest, and Pink Squad are going to be hitting that second vault as well. And they're quite near B at this point as well. They could have quite a free take to bring this to B, which appears to be that sort of corner of the map with the staircase out in the open. But we'll see as we get closer. It looks like there's going to be a fight around the vault.
Oh yeah, and Holtows Finest has the vault under control right now. Looking to see where Pushing 30 is going to go through, especially with a low gravity situation coming in. Might be the case that Pushing 30 just has to go from underneath, and they do. They go from under. They actually grab it right out from under Holtows Finest noses, and it looks like they're going to try to double back into C. They could be pushing B though. Pushing 30 pushing B. We'll find out which direction. It is going to be a B push here, but Holtows Finest, if we check in with them, we could find that they are already ready for this here. Incredible throw by Belize. I've never seen him miss those. And we're going to be seeing now Lamp's teams. Lamp does take a couple hits before getting ready to take this fight. Going to get healed up, and the teams are both waiting to see who will go first. It's kind of like a little jousting match here of ego, trying to see who is going to take that ego chow first.
No one wants the box as well. They're just trying to find advantageous ground right now. Neither team really knows exactly where the other is. Pushing 30, roaming inside buildings. They tend to favor this sort of thing. And holding the roof, and there goes the initiate.
Here it is. Pushing 30 starts off strong there, but Sloth is the first to go down, and Holtows Finest takes out Gremlin as well. That just leaves a singular Belize left stand. Oh no, he's already gone. Never mind. I didn't even see Belize go down. I figured that there was just one left.
Yeah,
he was
miss it in this
eaten
game.
before.
It's
Absolutely.
crazy. He was, yeah, he did not fare well there. I mean, the whole of pushing 30 didn't fare well. They decided to try and climb through the building, but as soon as Holtows Finest got a whiff of where they were, that was a pretty meaty RPG we saw. A lot of blue blobs disappear in the wake of it.
I
genuinely, problems, by the way.
Oh yeah, absolutely. And what's funny is I genuinely missed Belize dying because I was trying to see Gremlin get that tiniest chance of a flank coming through, but then he just was insta deleted. So they are definitely changing their ways going through now. Last time we saw pushing 30 wait as long as possible for the approach. This time they know that they might need a second team fight to come in, so they are going to go a little bit more aggro. The low grab finally disabled here, but Gremlin is immediately taken out by a well-placed RPG from Lamp. Some shots going through. Brendy down to half HP, but Belize is going to go down first. Brendy gonna pack out for cover here as Slothful goes out, and well, it does look like Gremlin is able to get res and survive, but is he going to be able to stay up for the entire time? I think he will.
Yeah,
9 seconds till Belize coins back in. Yeah, exactly. Just waiting for the team to come through, and like I said, last time they waited. They waited to run the timer out, so there's only one team fight, but they knew this time they would need a second approach. They want to dive in, figure out what the hold is, and then go back for round 2. This time, though, Holtows Finest, they did change up. They are now holding a lot higher. Gremlin knows this. He sees where that zip line leads, and that ultimate height that Holtows Finest is playing off of. But what is this? Push at 30. They're just going for the steal here. RPG and explosive damage gonna end everything now as the shotguns come through for Lamp, but one goes down here. Slothful and Belize still up as Green Space goes out. Brendy out too. Will the final seal be able to end here? Holtows Finest tries to keep it in. Oh my god, wait! 7 HP!
Lamp has done it. That is unreal. Belize had to stick that. He had to trust his teammate. They knew that the timer was against him, and Lamp in the 1 versus 2 effectively to clutch it. That's unreal play from Heavy.
I had figured that was going to go a completely different way, but 7 HP and a dream to just stick the hold. That is absolutely crazy play from Holtows Finest to be able to jump in there and just know you can out-heal, out-res the team because they have to have one hand on the box at all times. Incredible stuff for game 1.
Wow. Now, I believe that the map ban we saw earlier on screen was a little bit janky. So I'm trying to get my head around this, but...
That's right. It did say Seoul first.
It did, but don't worry about that. We've worked it out, I think. So Monaco was first up, obviously. We just watched Monaco. That... Monaco... okay, well, maybe we play it in the wrong order. Who cares? They're going to play every map at some point anyway. Either way, Monaco is the map that most likely Pushing 30 have picked, and they have played their map yet. So there we go. We get to see that Monaco was played first. Pushing 30 love Monaco, right? Now, that is a map that they have just lost with no cash outs at all. That is concerning to me.
A little bit. It is a little bit unfortunate the way that ended up pacing out, but at the end of the day, even though the maps were picked in the wrong order, at least it was still Pushing 30's map, right? So next, we will be going to Holtows' finest map, Las Vegas, and if anything, this is a wake-up moment for Pushing 30 because now we're on Holtows' finest map, and now it's time to really lock in.
Absolutely. So, in case you're wondering about, like, oh no, we've done it in the wrong order, this is an outrage, we're playing the same 3 maps, right? Like, there's no way that... Even if it ends 3-0, we get the same 3 maps played. So there's no real problem in doing this slightly the wrong order. It's not a big deal. Calm down, folks. Don't send your angry messages just yet. So, Monaco is over. That's gone the way of Holtows Finest, surprisingly. Vegas now, they're hoping to get, a second map under their belt. Two at the very start would be very, very good for them. Vegas plays very differently to Monaco, though, doesn't it, Hardy?
Absolutely. And hey, given the extended, or should I say restricted weapon selection and gadget selection that there currently is, given some of the issues of the most recent patch, that actually could change the way that these teams approach. Now, I haven't been, keeping too close of a track all weekend to see what these teams have been pushing up, but Holtows Finest is picking Las Vegas for a reason. And I'm curious if you have any insight as to what their class setups have looked like over the last couple of days.
They've mostly been running that HMM. It's been pretty consistent for Holtows Finest. They've been arguably one of the most consistent teams so far. There's a reason they were so high up on the global leaderboard before coming into these qualifiers even. And during the entirety of the Swiss stage, they were the team that no one wanted to engage because they were so smart about how they played objectives, right? Holtows Finest play the map, play the objective very smartly. They finished bottom of the kills over that final Swiss bracket, and they still came first overall. So they know what they're doing, they know how to win a game, even if it doesn't mean they get a load of kills. They set their priorities straight.
Awesome. I do love to see that, but hey, now we're going to be jumping in, and looks like Cash Out 1, Vault 1 already going to be fought for here. Is Lamp and Greenspace going to deal a bunch of damage. Greenspace goes out first. Slothful's traded through as well as Gremliners. Greenspace going to get stuck on the res here by Lamp, and, well, as Pushing 30 loses their first team fight, this could be a very, very rough start to what should be a very tough map. But if Pushing 30 can come back up here, right? It is a best of 5. They can come back up here. They'll know it's not all out. But this is Holtows' finest map pick. This is going to be a scary one for them.
Couldn't have put it better myself. Scary is the word right now. And it looks as though they want to head to A. It's the closest point. Makes most sense. Bit of an advanced guard there just to make sure that they're not caught out. But as we see Sloth and Belize and Gremlins move their way underneath, they're going to give chase. May be heard here coming up this zip, and they have to go in through that vent in the roof. As though the rest of Holtows Finest have fallen back quite far away from the point. They want to get up on top and re-engage the whole team. They've caught them napping here, Roddy.
There it is from the top. Absolutely incredible. Pushing 30 had no idea where that engagement was going to come from, and they're wiped before we can even get to cycle between all three POVs. Holtows Finest really has an incredible grasp on this map, and especially right now, given the fact that we are in the double or the triple shotgun meta, just seeing all three of these shotguns activate at the same time is insane. The amount of instant damage output that Holtows Finest has right now, and hey, Pushing 30 is also running shotguns on their team as well, but it just seems like Holtows Finest aim is locked in just a little bit more.
Yeah, they're landing their shots, they're winning their ones, they're hitting the crucial shots. It came down to the final shots in the last round, didn't it, on Monaco? And it feels like, yeah, just a little bit of nerves creeping in there for Pushing 30. But you've got to say, that was all about Holtows Finest making a stellar heads-up play, taking the initiative despite the fact that
here's Pushing 30 trying to go in for the steal here. They do have the APS. Will it hold what it needs to, though? It does not look like it here, as Holtows Finest is just extremely stable. The push is coming through from Pushing 30 here, and Belize tries to make progress, but he gets taken out immediately. As Gremliners appears on screen, he disappears in a burst of coins just as fast, and Holtows Finest doesn't even lose a member.
We got a very clear perspective there of the focus fire coming out from Holtows Finest. They knew where the threats were, and they communicated that very well to each other. Looks as though that has earned them the first cash out here. Pushing 30. They're going to be pushing up daisies for most of this game if they carry on like this.
Yeah, I'd love to hear what Pushing 30 is going to be talking about right now. I'd love to see if we could get a listen in to Pushing 30's comms and figure out if they have a roadmap just coming out of anywhere to try to figure out what the plan is for Vault 2.
Back up here, back up here. Gonna get jumped on.
By yourself.
You see him? They're on B.
I can see.
The boundless swooped up a cash box. cash out in the works.
I gotta get out of this room.
Yeah, go.
You guys get to me.
Yeah. We're gonna go for that too.
Jumping in. Grenade.
Get us in his hand.
Try to back up.
Good nades. Yeah, chill. Let's
Go, go, go. Follow him.
Down, he's dead. One dead up top. Left half. One.
Randy's one.
You guys win that.
No ammo. Still one.
Good shits. Nice.
Nah, just dive with him, Sloth. It doesn't matter. He's gonna RPG him all. Might as well just follow.
Absolutely
That was a big
incredible. As we can see, that Pushing 30 is on the redemption. Now, there wasn't much stratting happening prior to that cash out getting inserted, but right now, Pushing 30 is at least on pace to come back. We could see during that last team fight, they did feel a little bit more confident. They felt a little bit more comfortable, especially given the fact that, they're able to win their first one of this entire series. Now, this height is a little bit weird for the shotguns, but they know that they just want to get away from Holtows' finest. In the fact that Holtows' finest, the moment that they are up close personal, they know those shotguns are a little bit better in their hands. But Pushing 30, they need to follow on that dive. And what did we hear the moment that we jumped back? Push 30, they just said, dive with Sloth. All they got to do. So they got to try to isolate Lamp, but most importantly, they got to get Sloth inserted.
I mean, speaking of a dive, we should expect one pretty soon because right now Holtows Finest absolutely have to try and contest this point. They are going to come round the top, and there is the shots coming out from Slothful. Really tasty ones, really meaty ones that get the job done, and it looks like he might be able to finish the job here. Doesn't really matter how this team fight goes, however, because that timer is in their favor, and they will get that cash out to take it to all three.
There it is. Now we finally have Pushing 30 on the scoreboard. And, we do now have Pushing 30 wiped off the map. But hey, now they are on the scoreboard, Jerry.
That's where it counts, yeah? You got to be on the scoreboard. You got to be doing the damage where it matters. And now we get a nice little bit of downtime here, as obviously they've been wiped. And we see Holtows Finest just worming their way towards Vault 3. They're going to get the tap on that, but these objectives are really far right now, so it's going to be quite some time before we see the next plug.
Yeah, honestly, I do think that if Pushing 30 doesn't get their communication sort of sorted out here, because it felt too quiet, right? It felt like they're just playing really reactive, and especially when you're on Holtows Finest, that could work sometimes, but this is Holtows Finest map pick, right? And when you're up against a team where I know that Lamp and Brendy are making comms, making plays, that silence is just a little bit concerning. But Pushing 30, at the very least, if they are feeling activated enough to be able to dive in and feel confident in those dives, then hey, more power to them. As we can see as well, they are pushing around the side here, getting into the game room to try and find an opening to insert into Holtows Finest back lines. There it is. The first shots are going to come through. Lamp hasn't opened with that RPG just yet. But there it is about to come out. APS not down yet. There's the dive, but he hits the side and falls down. Unfortunate there. That could actually be the difference maker here as Belize gets some early damage up, healed up on both sides. Boundless still trying to find a way in. Is Pushing 30 does their job. Belize jumps over, dealing some damage, but unfortunately the healer goes down early. That is going to be another wipe for Pushing 30 as Holtows Finest retains control of Vault 3.
There's a delicate dance there between the two heavies with their mesh shields. Interesting as well, like these fights go on so much longer. They're so much more kind of calculated, more tactical without the winch in play, which I do like to see. And we saw an opportunity there for Pushing 30 where that engage came from Holtows Finest, and you mentioned it. One player hit the wall and didn't quite manage to keep pace with the rest of his team, dropped down onto the lower floor. That was where Belize smelt blood in the water. You know, he was like, let's go, let's take out this medium, but the rest of his team weren't with him. He didn't get that call out in time, and then it ended up being a war of attrition downstairs, which didn't go their way. Now, of course, we see Holtows Finest having this B site ready and in their favor, and ticking down as the roof comes down on top of them, Ardy, and it looks like Pushing 30 are pushing hard.
Absolutely, they are diving in, but check out the pathing from Holtows' Finest. It's just perfect.
Beautiful.
Gremlin are caught out, Belize as well, and there's Sloth all out. The pathing, as you can see, really, Holtows' Finest understands this shotgun meta really, really deeply. The way that they end up taking these pushes is to try to make sure that their crosshairs are always going to be in different areas. So Push 30 can never get that group burst damage that you can sometimes get with the heavy shotgun and with the model. And I think that that is a huge difference maker, because we can see that anytime Holtows' Finest left clicks, it just goes into every single member of Push 30 because they're so grouped up. Same with that RPG damage. Holtows' Finest make sure that in their individual team fights, they are separating left and right.
They smell Pushing 30 just around the corner as well, but they're deciding to back on up. They didn't get much value off of that RPG, so a re-engage is on the cards. Only about 30 seconds left on this cash out. The onus is on Pushing 30 to do something here. They have to try and stick the Steel RD.
Oh, and the APS doing some work here. The steel is going to get stuck, but Lamp will very quickly make sure that that stick is not going to be for long. Slam does go out here, and that's Holtows' Finest getting removed. And what is this? The steel is going to go through and Pushing 30. They are able to clutch it up here, and they take Holtows' Finest map pick away from them in an upset that I don't think anybody was expecting.
That was clean from Pushing 30. Sure, they didn't win as many fights in that game as Holtows' Finest, but they won the ones that mattered, it seems. And like you say, stealing Holtows' Finest map from underneath them. And the lovely frog squats to celebrate. I do love a good bit of synergy amongst the squad. You got to do it, especially when you're competing at this level. If you don't have the same skins, the same intros and taunts, then what are you doing? You're messing up.
It does actually give you a buff, and
Exactly.
that buff is through aura, and I think that they won those aura points, and you actually put it incredibly perfectly. The fact that they won the fights that mattered, I really want to drive that point down, because the fact that they did not win every single fight, in fact, they lost every single fight that they took outside of the final two. There was one vault fight that they won, and then there was 2 steel fights that they won. That was it. And so winning 3 fights, but it was 3 crucial fights that, one, put the vault in their control so they were able to set up for a cash out hold. They ended up winning. The second one was the shutdown steal. And then the third one was that last fight that we just saw there. 3 fights, the whole game. 3 team fights, all they won. And now they are on the board. And as much as we have been, sort of dissing on them, they are now at the same standing as, as Holtows' Finest. So this is crazy. Now we're also going to be going to another Pushing 30 map. We're going to be going to Seoul.
We are. And Seoul has been an interesting one, because when we've seen Holtows' Finest play it today, we haven't seen Pushing 30 play it today, so we don't have that intel on them today. But when we've seen Holtows' Finest play it today, they've looked very firmly in control of Seoul. Now, there are some asterisks to mention here. In their quick cash game that they played on Seoul, they were up against a team that were playing triple dagger. So we'll strike that one off. And in their cash out games on Seoul, they were playing against 3 teams that seemingly just didn't want to fight them for whatever reason. So now they're going to have to really prove themselves, right? Are they a good Seoul side? Do they like Seoul with a capital S? That is the question that I would be asking if I was a 80s funk band. And that is a real deep cut for any of you out there that know what I'm talking about.
I'm absolutely not one of those people that know what you're talking about, but I'm here for it. I'm here for the energy. And, well, we jump into this. My only question is, will Lamp, Brenty, and Green, will Holtows' Finest still be running the triple shotguns? I could see Gremliners running the model as well right now, and I do think I see Belize with an SA-12. So, yeah, we've got the triple shotguns on Pushing 30. What about Holtows' Finest? Will the shotguns reign supreme here? Looks like Lamp is... And yep, we are still triple shotguns, even on a wide open map like Seoul. Now, this is going to change what vaults they end up going for. I can see Cash Out A is going to be in Petronel Plaza. That could be an insane place for a shotgun fight to come through. But Cash Out B being in the data center of the hospital, that is going to be the hot spot, I think. Preferred Cash Out to start.
It could well be. We'll see what they decide to do, of course. Both teams here are sort of unsure of each other's locations right now. This is a big sprawling building. If you don't get a handle on where your opponents are early on, then it can be difficult to locate them. But you've got to make sure you're not caught out, that you're not the one that ends up a rabbit in front of the headlights. That box has been successfully capped, and no one wants to go for it just now. It's a bit of a poison chalice. As soon as you start seeing it move, then you know that the opponents are there. That's a big radar, a big beacon at this moment in time. Zipline comes up to bring them to the top, and it looks like we might get our first fight very soon.
Yep, here it is. Holtows Finest up the zip line into pushing 30, and Slothful goes out first. Gremliner's out second. Green Space with just 5 HP, trying to deal some damage to Belize, while Belize is gonna 100% be going for the res. Looks like he will be able to get 1 res up, but Holtows Finest has 3 members up, and Vault is in control, taking it into Petronel Plaza here to get Cash Out A started. They're going to wait for Slothful to coin in, but they are going to try to dive in as fast as possible. Might be going for a height push here, which is going to be extremely important, especially controlling the staircases of Petronel Plaza.
It's a big building to try and go for that top-down push on. It's a good building to do so as well, because you've got a lot of visibility with that glass, but they are down a couple of floors, meaning that Holtows Finest have a bit more cover than if they were right at the top. Time has gone down maybe about a fifth so far, and we can see they get a smell of the point. And speaking of smell, there is that fart gas protecting it for the time being, so they're not going to be able to hop on it anytime soon. They need to get a bit of a better whiff of their opponents instead, but they're being masked at the moment. Are they downstairs? Are they upstairs? What, you see something? I don't know, Noddy.
Yeah, it's that staircase like I was talking about. Holtows Finest is in pretty good control here. Look at this. The stealth play. The trigger discipline on the RPG can allow Lamp to get an early opening onto Gremlin. Elise as well, down to just half HP here, and Lamp's gonna try to finish him off before getting traded himself. Brenny gonna try to jump in here and get the res on the Lamp, but it is an over fight here. Pushing 30. They did not check the staircase. Jerry, I said it. I told you how important that staircase was. But Pushing 30 did not believe in the arty call.
I can't believe they lost that fight. That is unreal. To come in with the stealth RPG, hit for that much damage and not be able to follow it up. I think Pushing 30 are going to be pretty downhearted about that one. They know that that is a wasted opportunity, one that they will not get offered to them twice. But they do have, thankfully, the option of a second engage. They take out the jump pad beneath, and they do spy someone playing underneath as well. Going in for the fight here, Hardy.
Yeah, they find another stealth play getting set up there, but they're privy to it this time. Lamp goes down. Slothful also gonna go down. It's a whole wipe immediately. I only saw 1 kill. It's a whole wipe. Incredible. Pushing 30, though, they at least had that one locked in. Holtows Finest, I think they were probably thinking that the staircase play was good for part 2, but no, what you have to understand, when the timer is that low, Pushing 30 has only one option. That's go from underneath, and that's what they did. I think Holtows Finest might have been trying to set up for that, but maybe the comms just weren't there. They did not get the strategy lined up in time.
Yeah,
but
they had the jump pad, right? So they were hoping to bring it down. They were expecting Pushing 30 to go straight for it and then blow it up from underneath into the jump pad. But Pushing 30 discovered the trap and caught Holtows Finest with their pants down.
Yeah, and that's why it's so important to understand intuitively the timer and the pressure it will apply to teams when they're respawning. It will guide their pathing. And we do see Pushing 30 is in full control of Vault 2 on the roof of that same building we started on. And now the choice is theirs. Do they go to the hospital where Holtows Finest is waiting for them, or do they go all the way across the data center for Cash Out C? That is going to be a good question. The rivets are going through, but hey, Pushing 30, they're in the lead. They know that, hey, if they can just out-aura them for 12 minutes on this rooftop, then Holtows Finest can't do anything about it, but the orbital lasers...
that almost hit the glitch barrel. That would have been tremendously unfortunate, but no. I think, correct me if I'm wrong, Nardi, but I think this might be the first time that a team has led on their map pick. It seems that way, at least. And there's another orbital laser catching out Holtows Finest this time.
Yeah, absolutely detrimental for Pushing 30's plan of just waiting as long as possible. But what Pushing 30 wants to do is they are not going to put that cash out in. They're not going to put the vault into a cash out until Holtows Finest is wiped. So they are telling Holtows Finest right now, hey, come in for the team fight. Right now, the moment that Lamp shoots that RPG, Pushing 30 is going to try to push for it. But actually, Pushing 30, they waited for Holtows Finest to come around. That way they don't get cut off. This is a smart play. Now they just slide down the side of Petronel Plaza, get started in Data Center.
Very clean. Very nice movement as well, maximizing the speed that you can get with that sliding as well. And it looks as though Holtows Finest have opted to double back and go around to try and take it to C, or take the fight to C. Opening up some holes, going to stick up a jump pad as well, presumably sometime soon to get the height, or they could go back out and take the zip. In fact, that is the option it looks like they are going to do to try and engage on top of Holtows Finest. We've seen Holtows Finest do this onto Pushing 30 a few times now. Pushing 30 taking a leaf out of their opponent's book.
Yeah, we'll see how this is going to shape up. But right now, Holtows Finest, they're nicely grouped together. Very different approach to what they were doing before, as Pushing 30 decides to go all the way to the top of the scaffolding.
Oh,
here it is. Lamp opens up. A missed RPG shot, though, might change the pace of this fight as Pushing 30 backs off to the side. They both pad towards each other here, and Lamp is going to be able to get the first pick on the Slothful. That's going to be huge right now as Belize gets separated from his teammate here. Gremlin off the sideline here. Belize up at the top goes out, and that's going to be the wipe that they absolutely did not need, as Holtows Finest plays that perfectly up the side of the building, up the scaffolding into Pushing 30, and Pushing 30, they just did not have a grip on it, even though Holtows Finest missed the RPG.
Yeah, and it's once again a case of, doesn't matter how well Pushing 30 seem to engage, or how poorly Holtows Finest seem to engage in that instance. Holtows Finest come out on top in it's seeming like 3 in every 4 fights at this point. They seem to be getting the better of Pushing 30, and you can't sustain that sort of loss rate throughout a series if you are Pushing 30. Here we go, though.
Oh, wow. What is this fight going through right now? Brendy almost out. Lamp almost out. But it's Belize is the first to fall. Holtows Finest down to just 2 more. Brendy is going to be able to get the kills that they need, though. Absolutely insane clutch as Pushing 30 just can't stay in. Holtows Finest going to get cash out C, and it's going to come down to the 3rd vault yet again, Jerry.
It's a tale as old as, well, it's a tale as old as Las Vegas, let's put it that way. We did see the first game go 2-0 in the favour of Holtows Finest on Monaco, but yet this is the second one in a row now where we're going to see it all 3 cash outs. Will it be B or will it be D? That is the question in my mind. Looks like B is, well, D is the new spawn, so getting an idea, handle on where that is might be a nice idea. It seems to be in this southern building. I don't know. You know the call-outs way better than I do. I've noticed this. What do we call this one?
So actually, this building is just apartments. So this is just
okay,
apartments.
cool.
But then we've got hospital, and then we've got hospital tech. So
I know
hospital
those
tech
ones.
hospital tech is where Holtows Finest is up on top, where cash out B is. Vault 3 all the way over on hospital main, and it looks like Pushing 30 is gonna take the drive all the way across to at least control a little bit of height above Vault 3, but Belize. He just knows he can't do it without his team. He's got to jump off the top.
Yeah, that was a bit of a blunder there from Pushing 30. They are prone to that sort of thing. Holtows Finest seem to be the more consistent side in general. Pushing 30 have those communication issues that hold them occasionally, and that was just one of those. We saw, there was a moment where you could feel the despair in Belize, where he just stood and looked over the wasteland that is the Green Bridge, and his whole team, smatterings of coins just on the floor, and decided, you know what, yeah, it's not worth it. I'll jump, I'll join you guys. But the long and short of it is, Holtows Finest have control of this vault. They're going to plug it straight into B, as Pushing 30 have already spawned now. And luckily for Pushing 30, they have that zip prepared to go all the way across and get an early fight here on this B side.
Yeah, Godzip is up. You see Slothful debating if he needs to destroy it or not, but he's going to keep it up just in case. And Holtows Finest about to get dove on as Belize and Slothful take in on the right. Gremlin on the left goes out first. He was disconnected. The res will come through, but will it be enough?
Nope.
Not as much as he gets insta-deleted. Belize 34 HP and a dream. He's going to step into that gas and get taken out as early as possible. And that is going to be a good thing for Pushing 30 that they didn't delete Godzip. Now, Holtows Finest, they did not have hype there, but this is what I've been saying for years now in the finals. The year that the finals has been out is that hype does not matter, and that is exactly what happened here. Now, maybe if Pushing 30 opened the roof, that would have been a different story, but hey, Holtows Finest, they've got this from underneath.
All right, Pushing 30 back in contention now, back in the server, but the question is for Holtows Finest, where are they? They are coming again through the Godzip. Watch out for this glitch barrel, though, that Holtows Finest are keeping their hands on.
A glitch barrel going to be massive to make sure that the shield and the RPG play does not work for him. APS and Bubble here, they're going for the full steal, but as the cash out drops underneath them, will they be able to stay up? All three members stay alive. Sloth on half HP, Belize on half HP. The chain heal is going to come through, but they are just being out-pushed by Holtows Finest. The first pick comes through. The second pick about to be here.
Oh, Gremlin!
Well, Gremlin, last person, gets green space. Not able to clutch it up, though, and Holtows Finest gonna walk away with yet another pushing 30. It just seems at this point, Jerry, they're trading map picks. What an insane game, to say the least, as we see pushing 30 at least getting activated, at least testing Holtows Finest.
Yeah, that one really does. That one really did come down to the wire. And there was some moments there after that glitch barrel connected. You saw pushing 30 weren't done. They did manage to fall back and you know, take the hits. They got their healing back up. They managed to find another re-engage, but again it was a case of Belize just being slightly separated from his team in that final moment. Almost some heroics from Gremlin at the very death, but Holtows Finest, we mentioned it, they are winning. At this point, it feels like 9 in every 10 gunfights, team fights, and that is going to eventually see them through if they can keep up that form.
Yeah, honestly, it seems like the team fights that Pushing 30 is winning. I hate to say this because I love to give every team equal standing. I know how good Pushing 30 is. I'm friends with a lot of the players there, but it just seems like the only times they win is when Holtows Finest has a misplay. And it's very unfortunate. It's very unfortunate because, yeah, it's not something stable that you can run into. And I think that this just comes into strategy. Holtows Finest is at least thinking about the game slightly differently. They are approaching this in a way that directly counters how they know what Pushing 30 does every single game. And if Pushing 30 doesn't find out how to counter that early on, well, then this could be the next map, could be the last.
But we've seen that, you know, Pushing 30, they have their hero moments, right? That is, if anything, the only thing they have to cling on to right here. They managed to put it through on Las Vegas despite winning only, what, 3 fights, you said, something like that, in a game that went to 3 cash outs. So yeah, it can be done, and it is possible. It's just that they are up against the odds. And now they're up against the scoreline, right? 2-1 in maps to Holtows Finest at this moment in time means that they only need to grab one more map here. It could be Sis Horizon or die for Pushing 30.
Yeah, honestly. And hey, Pushing 30, though, they are pretty good at Sis Horizon. I know that it's Holtows Finest pick, but I mean, let's be real. When you're on a best of 5 series, you're playing every map except Kyoto. It is what it is, right? So the map picks, fine. All right, if they've been going opposites, it's probably also going to go opposite this way, but only if Pushing 30 is able to get the entries that they need. And now this is going to be an absolutely insane take, but I think that Pushing 30 needs to change up something, because when it comes down to shotguns v shotguns, Holtows Finest can just do those better. I'm sorry to say it.
There is a case I'd like to make here, and it's something that was mentioned by Sloth during some of the competitions they were doing. Sloth is he likes a light. He does like playing a bit light. He was trying to push to play some lights in this competition, having, you know, sort of back and forth with Belize when I tuned into their stream at least. And maybe that's the ticket. Maybe that's what they need. That, you know, that consistent glitch nade on engage, that consistent gateway to get you a bit ahead of your opponents, the sonar nades, the stuns, all of that utility that only the light can bring, and the firepower of the shotgun, or maybe just a more consistent version of, you know, the XP, the SMG. Something just a little bit off kilter. But no, they've stuck to their guns, quite literally. They are still running that HMM. So we just got to see how it plays out, Artie.
Yeah, we'll see. We'll see. Now we are on Sis Horizon. Holtows Finest just got to clutch this up, and then they'll be good to go into the grand finals. And at the end of the day, if you're Holtows Finest, you just got to end it here, right? Because if you do go into map 5, then that is the maximum amount of the finals that you got to play before jumping into your last series. It could be detrimental for them going into it. But right now they win. They'll still have good steam ahead. Pushing 30, though, this is everything to them.
Bit of
first team fight. Yeah, it's going to open up actually in favor of Pushing 30 here. At least it's down to health, but no, look at that turnaround almost instantly. It's Slothful Wow! Lamp and Brendy were at half HP that entire fight, but it was only Gremlin who survived all the way down to the bottom.
And that was just telling of, you know, this problem that we've seen from Pushing 30 a few times, is that they don't have that focus fire, the ability to finish off those kills as cleanly as Holtows Finest have been. Really well played by Holtows Finest once again to recover what was a losing fight for them. And now they get to take this this vault over to cash out A in the red building. And this is where I like my callouts, right, and RD, because it's very simple for simple minds like me. This is red. There's no argument.
The red building.
It's just red, yeah.
Absolutely. You know, there was a time when I knew every room's color, but
Oh, wow.
that was when my brain still worked. But here in office building on red. No, this isn't office building. This is like art or something. I don't know. But we're watching now. Cash out A getting swarmed in from the tops. Pushing 30 takes a high ground that is quickly removed for them as Holtows Finest takes the stairs. Elise goes out. Gremlin goes out. And, well, all right. Now we can get back to what we were talking about. What's this building called anyway?
It's red, okay? It's red, and it will always be red for me. I don't care what's inside it.
The joke's on you, Jerry. I'm colorblind.
Ah, yeah, that sounds like I'm the one that's yeah, no, are you kind of? I don't want to. Now I need to find out if I can actually joke about this or not.
Actually, okay. So this is called Workspace, according to Abark Studio. This is is Workspace. And I'm a fan of the Workspace building. You know, it's got a unique layout. But to be honest, it is pretty much just the it is the most closed off area.
3, 2, 1, boom.
There it is. Boom. Playing from underneath. Holtows Finest drops the cash out into their favor. Gremliners trying to make that model 1887 do some work for him. The damage will go through, but it's quickly healed out. Gremlin goes out. Felice goes out. Tail as old as time. There's Sloth. Cash out A being held out by Holtows Finest. And does Pushing 30 have time for one more fight? I don't think they do.
What a beauty of a fight from Holtows Finest, but some beastly plays as well coming through. If you pardon me, I'm like this. Sorry, this is what my brain does. So, yeah, that's again a first cash out going the way of Holtows Finest, and should be pretty. Yeah, this is it. There's no way that Pushing 30 go for that, so they're going to get a move on towards the next vault, wherever it happens to be. Taking control of the center of the map is a smart move when you don't know where it's going to be. And there we go, 45 meters away, they will win that foot race, but it's not far for Holtows Finest either, so they should be able to engage pretty early if they want it.
Yeah, there it is, diving out around onto the northwestern half of the map. They are going to make this work out here in the museum for cash out for Vault 2.
It's pink.
The pink room.
Yeah, pink. To be fair, this is very clearly a museum. We've got all the lovely sculptures and exhibits coming about. But there we go, Sloth being taken down, and some clean engagements again coming through from Holtows Finest as they win another team fight in the space of 5 seconds. RD, how do you stop this side?
This is what I was saying. I think when it comes down to shotguns v shotguns, Holtows Finest is just more stable. And Pushing 30, they didn't drop off the shotguns. So right now, it literally could come down to this. They're taking the cash out now into cash out C in the museum, and well, that museum is going to play a little bit easier if you are just able to get the opening shots. There's not a lot of cover. There's only a few rooms to dart around in. And, well, right now, as Pushing 30 jumps in through the art gallery, they will have one area to go in through. That's the zip line, the bridge next door. Holtows Finest knows this. They're already set up. They've got a balcony overhead. The gas barrels are already placed to cut them off. Holtows Finest just knows how to play this site.
It's just so efficient, so clean. They have the prepped ideas, you know, they're not even having to think about them. It's almost as though they've planned it, and now the re-engage comes in above, but Pushing 30 are having to play chase down here, as Holtows Finest are very keen not to fight their opponents right now. They want to get into more favorable ground. They have this glitch barrel. They have 2 in fact to go straight at it. But, no, it hits their teammate, but it doesn't matter. They're landing the shots anyway. No matter what happens to Holtows Finest, they seem to put it through every time.
That could be it. Because we come down to the final team fight, the final possible team fight. But Pushing 30, they know that they have to take the team fight first. They can't just come in and steal. And they haven't won a single team fight this whole game. This whole match has been like 4 minutes. And
really
it's
has.
about to come down to this. This is crazy.
It's been so quick. This is, again, just to remind people of the stakes. Pushing 30 basically have to win this fight. Otherwise, Holtows Finest get their spot in the World Championships. And it's about to happen right now.
Yeah, this is it. This is it. Pushing 30. They might get sent down to the LCQs. They're going for the steal, the APS, the turrets all down. What's going to happen now? It's a team fight not going their way as Holtows Finest holds on for dear life. They're going to do it. Belize goes down. It's just Gremlin. He gets one, but that's all he's going to get. Holtows Finest. They have made it to the grand finals. An incredible attempt by Pushing 30, but today just wasn't their day. And Jerry, we now see Pushing 30, Belize, Sloth, and Grem. Great run. We'll see at the LCQs, but it's Holtows Finest time. Lamp, Brendy, Green will go to the grand finals up against 2-2-3.
And congratulations to them for making it. It will be a best of 5 in the grand finals to play for seeding, and it's going to be a great game because they're two teams that are very exciting to watch. It's also not a repeat match, you know, we get a fresh matchup, but that is it. Holtows finest hour, making it through to the championship, the World Championship. So that is a big deal for them. Pushing 30, I have no doubt that they will do absolutely brilliantly in the LCQs should they choose to take them, because they have been like consistently a high performing team throughout the qualifiers, throughout this split, and they've just fallen at the final hurdle. You've got to give them credit, playing with a sub as well. They should do great things if they stick their minds to it, but today's Holtows Finest hour.
Absolutely. And yeah, I think that going into the LCQs, they can take this this match as sort of a wake-up call that, hey, sometimes mechanics aren't everything. You got to have strats even in the finals. But without further ado, though, we're going to jump into a break, and when we come back, it is the grand finals that you've all been waiting for. More than $500 on the line here for this next matchup here with Edelco versus Edelco and Friends on 2-2-3 versus Holtows Finest. I'm excited to see it come through. We'll see you guys after the break. Don't go anywhere.